What's going on YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another FFBE War of the Visions video, and today I'm covering everything that has to do that's out right now for the FF14 collaboration, including Thancred, Y'shtola, should you invest in those characters, and what you should be doing to get the most out of this event. Let's get into it. So, with the FF14 collaboration here in War of the Visions, we got brought two characters, one for free in the Black Mage Y'shtola. We got that from the pre-registration rewards, and then we also got Thancred, the Gunbreaker, Bruiser, Tank Assister, Extraordinaire, which we'll talk about both of them right now. So first up is Y'shtola. Should you invest in her? The answer is going to be yes. She's not the best mage in the game, if we're talking about all the mages, you know, maxed out with all their abilities open to them, but she is going to be very, very easy to get her limit broken all the way through and get her max to level 99 if you so choose, because in this event you have a ton of options on getting her shards. They kind of just keep throwing her shards at you. In the shop, I buy it with Gil all the time. You can spend your event currency to get them, and overall everyone should be able to reach the number of shards you need. So a lot of people have been asking me, how many shards do you need? Well, for MR units you're going to need 500 shards to completely LB them out, and then for UR units you're going to need 600. So be aware of that when we're even talking about other units that are not in this collaboration. That's where you're going to need to be to get them all the way opened up. Another great thing about Y'shtola is because this event makes it so easy to get her LB'd all the way out, if you choose to awaken her to 6-star and LB her completely, you're going to get her Trust Mastery reward. And this Trust Mastery reward isn't the greatest thing in the world. 80 HP, Magic 78, Silence granted, but in the end, a lot of people maybe wanted to get their hands on this and mess around with it because they chose to max her out. And it's just a nice weapon to have in your back pocket because we are kind of lacking in great weapons right now. Moving on to what she actually does, she's going to be a great damage dealer. Again, there are going to be even better MR mages that come out down the road. One being, I don't know what they're going to call her in English, but her name's Thalia. She's like a lightning mage, which is going to be great. But because, again, a lot of us are going to be halted by our Medina progression because of, you know, we don't have enough awakening materials, or we definitely don't have enough shards, Y'shtola's going to rise and rise and rise, and eventually, you know, she could overtake some of your guys' Medinas, but not for too long. Looking at her abilities, she has Black Mage, White Mage, and then also Green Mage. So along with bringing the damage that you may want in a fight, she also has these nice support abilities, so she can back you up from that end as well. Looking at her abilities, there's one I do want to touch on briefly, if it would go to it, is the Foul ability. And a lot of the times, you guys do not have Medinas are asking me, is Y'shtola a good option for you? And the answer is yes. Medina is known as one of the best farmers, if not the best farmer in the game, due to her LB being able to cast on turn 1, insta-cast, because it's the LB, and it really just tears opponents apart. And what you're looking for in these stages are when the enemies are all clumped up, and all your Medina has to do is walk up and use the LB, and they all die, and the quest is over, and you get the goodies. Y'shtola can still do that as well with the ability Foul, so be on the lookout for that and using her for that ability. So in the end, I am not leveling her up right now. I'm focused on other units and Medina, but I am actively getting her shards because I would like to have all of her shards before the event ends, because once the event ends, can't get any more Y'shtola shards. So be aware of that, be farming. I do think she's worth it, and she'll be a great option for you guys out there for a good time to come. So next up, I want to talk about everybody's favorite Gunbreaker, Thancred, and if I think he's worth it to invest into. So before I get into that, I want to talk about exactly what I mean when we talk about having to invest in a solid unit to get them to be very good, right? I always say, hey, with a UR unit, really invest into them, pick one, buy their shards, and then move on to another one when you're satisfied with where they are. Well, you can unlock everybody's full ability board at Limit Break 3. So when you're looking to get these units, the least I think you should be looking to invest in them, if you are looking to use them, is try to get them to LB3, so at least you have all of their options available to you moving forward. So that's going to bring us to Thancred here. Let's talk about Thancred as a character before I talk about how you can obtain him. Thancred is going to be a bruiser, like, let's say, side tank, who's going to be able to go in, do a lot of good damage, some range damage too, and be on the front lines with your main tank. He's not going to be your main tank, though. He does have some great abilities to support your main tank through defensive up, so you can put defensive up on your tank. Maybe it's your Mont or your Engelbert, and then he's also going to be able to put HP regen on your tank, so he does have that nice side tank, off tank mentality like you would in FF14. But overall, in general, I do believe you want to be using the Gunbreaker subcommand with Thancred. Those are his best abilities. A lot of the time with the Dragoon or the Lancer classes, you jump in the air, the enemy moves or something goes wrong, they fall down, it takes a lot of casting time, and while it can do a lot of damage, it's going to kind of leave you out in the dust in the end. So how does Thancred stack up to a lot of people later in the meta? Like, you know, Claic, is it worth me to go ham on Thancred? Personally, I'm going to say it is not. We'll get into the changes in a minute, but one of them being is that in global, they made his shards cost double, just like Gilgamesh. So to invest in Thancred, one, he's a limited time unit. So after this event is over, you're not going to be able to grab the shards. And two, you're going to have to spend double on his Vizior, a double Vizior on his shards in the shop, besides the ones you can get for free, or if you get lucky with the tickets and get his shards from the tickets you can buy. So overall, again, in the meta, is he worth it? He's really strong. I would put him in the A class up to S class. If S class was the highest, he's close to that. He's very, very strong at what he does. Again, ranged attacks can be in the front line. You don't have to worry about him getting like one shot because he is kind of tanky, and he brings that support to your tank. However, there are going to be other units you probably want to invest in for a little bit more added value than Thancred. But if you're a Thancred fan, don't feel too bad about it. He is powerful enough to keep on your team for a long time to come. So let's talk about the differences between the FF14 event and the global event. Okay, so the Japanese event, excuse me. So in the Japanese event, the only way you could acquire Thancred was from these tickets here. And it was like a 0.5, 0.6% chance. And we have that chance too here with the FF14 summon tickets. Or you could summon on the FF14 vision card banner, which you couldn't even summon Thancred on, get these coins and purchase Thancred from the shop. So those are the two options JP had. If you got lucky, you did. If you didn't, you couldn't get him. Global changed that a bit. Global changed it in a way that you could actually buy Thancred from the shop. So everybody out there can get a hold of Thancred for free if they grind the FF14 event long enough. They can just go in here, buy him right here, and this actually gives you the unit Thancred. Do I suggest you do that? Yes, I do. However, hold up, hold the phone. Don't go spending your 15,000 right now right on Thancred. I think you should be holding off. The reason is you could get lucky and pull Thancred on these tickets. And if you don't plan to be maxing him out, at least getting him to LB3, whether you get lucky with getting these or buying his shards in the shop, I think at that point you would skip out on spending the 15,000, because if you get Thancred from the tickets and you buy this, from what I've heard, I haven't been able to test it myself, but I've heard very many different people telling me this, you get his shards from this. So if you are looking to make your Thancred at least LB3 or even higher, because remember, I keep saying this, but I want to make sure you guys are aware of this, Y'shtola and Thancred shards will go away after this event ends, and it looks like we have 24 days, or that's maybe just the shop. I think it's 19, 18 days left in the actual event. You can go check yourself in the event tab, but that is where you're going to get them. So I would wait until the exact last day. I'm talking you run out of tickets you can buy before you purchase this Thancred, unless you just love them, you got to have them, because again, you might not have to waste 15,000 on it if you just want to pick up Thancred, because most people's opinion are that they are going to bring these units back. They're going to bring FF14 back and yada yada yada, but it may be down the road in special events. So it's up to you if you want to spend those 15,000 there. Again, if we go take a look, let's say we go back and we go to the normal shop here. Let's take a look here. We're in the normal shop and we go to the collaboration shop. You can see that his shards cost just like Gilgamesh, like I talked about. 40 shards is 4,000, whereas you can see that Y'shtola's 40 are only 400,000 gil, so that's why it's easy to level her up. Looking at the release commemoration shop, we can see the difference here, whereas Gilgamesh is 4,000 for 40, and then we look at Stern, and he's 2,000 for 40. So overall, in my opinion, if you are looking to use Thancred and you want to use him in the future, at least get him to LB3 and wait until the very last day before investing Vizior or any kind of stuff like that, because you can refresh these shops in an attempt to get him. Because if we go to the normal shop, you can see there are Thancred shards there as well, and you can refresh the shop. So but if I had to suggest it to you, right? If I had to tell you, hey, should I invest in Thancred? If I'm not the biggest Thancred fan, I'm just trying to be good at the game. The answer is no. Save your Vizior for someone else, a future collab unit. Hopefully in Global, they don't change it to where all of the collab units or the limited time Final Fantasy units are double shards, because that would really suck. Double cost for the shards, that would be really awful. But yeah, that's how it's going to be. So, as far as the shop is concerned, buy up what you want. Right now, again, on the weekends, we do have unlimited Gil Snapper Cave entry, so I would be going out there today, if you're watching this video on the weekend, and farming those Gil Snappers so you can get enough Gil to buy this stuff. Buy what you need. Buy the Y'shtola shards if you need them. As far as the two vision cards that you can get on that banner, skip. Do not summon on it. It's not worth your Vizior. They're pretty cool, and they do a lot of cool things like raise light attack or dark attack, respectively, but they're not really worth the time of your Vizior. That should be used for shards or future units that you're looking to go after. There is a King Mog shop, obviously, for your event currency. Every day, make sure you're buying every single FF14 summon ticket that you can get your hands on, and you do at least one FF14 event stage a day, strictly speaking, because you want to get all these tickets that you can to get Y'shtola shards, some of their level up materials, and your chance at getting Thancred or Thancred shards, making that a bit easier for you guys to build them up. other than that, you definitely want to go in here and buy. I haven't bought anything, but there are a lot of good things in here to buy. If you guys are probably seeing that these are kind of rare for you guys to get. Buy these every time you see them, as long as it doesn't cost. You can buy them for Visior if you want, but buy these every chance you get, because every unit will end up needing these when you awaken them, and you're going to start running out when you start awakening. So buy these every time you can for gil, event currency, get them in the dailies. These are very important, and you want to get your hands on them. The rest of it is really there to help you, get started in the game and awaken Thancred and awaken Y'shtola to keep going forward in the game. So the next thing I want to talk about here, this is going to be a kind of a long video, but it is about the FF14 event, is don't neglect your missions. You guys want to head over into the missions and go to events, and I've already done them, but there are a lot of Shadowbringer events that will give you a lot of event currency, some FF14 tickets, along with Y'shtola shards. And it really is just like running the stage 5 times. If you look at the EX stage, you just got to run it X amount of times, and you get a lot of these great rewards. And a lot of these rewards are for a Gunblade that you guys can build via the Gunblade event in the EX stage. So if we go here and head to the EX stage, events, EX event, you can see that we can get this Gunblade weapon, and it actually is really good. It's definitely worth building up. If you guys haven't watched my beginner weapon guide, watch that, because you are going to have to go through that kind of RNG kind of spell going on. I'm going to make a video of me making my Gunblade so I can walk you step by step on how to do it. But overall, I think the event is definitely worth doing, and definitely get that Gunblade. Anybody who can, there are lots of units that can use the Gunblade, not just Thancred, but I do believe Thancred must have his Gunblade as a weapon. So that's going to be something for your Thancred fans. Make sure you're farming this event. The weird thing about this equipment farm, though, so in the game, there will be several gear farming events they do where you go in, you have to farm the recipe and the materials to level it up, and it's going to be a really hard grind, and people are going to get sick of doing it. The weird thing about this one is you only get a certain amount of drops from actually running the quest from the achievements, and then you have to go into the shop and purchase the recipes via the exchange shop in the Mog shop, excuse me. So you can go here and you can buy up to 100 of them. So if you really want to make that awesome Gunblade, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, including things that you guys will buy with arena medals. We'll get into that in a minute. I said magic seal, and I almost said something different. But, and these dwarven hammers that we're going to have to use on our weapons to make them stronger. That's why I'm going to walk you through my Gunblade making. And again, even if you're not going to use Thancred, I think that Gunblade is pretty cool. But I have heard there are better gear in the future coming out that's a little bit easier to farm. So it's going to be really up to you on what you want to do. The next step in this FF14 event is going to be the introduction of raids, where we're going to have multiplayer raids. We're going to go in, fight together against the boss, get a lot of cool stuff. And I'm going to do a video when that comes out. But essentially the way it's going to work is you don't just go in and have raid orbs and you just fight the raid. You have to get it to spawn. So like the Whimsy shop or the Chocobo Fever, it's going to be a random spawn. And I remember when it came out in JP, it was almost impossible to spawn. So I don't know if you guys are in multiplayer now, trying to join all the multiplayer rooms and you keep getting knocked out. Raids are going to be even worse because they're rare, right? They're going to be rare to spawn. I know in JP they up the occurrence rate a little bit more, but so it's gonna be kind of crazy out there. You're probably not gonna want to auto it because it's kind of tough. For all you Shiza fans, which is the Dark Monk, you're really gonna be looking to use her. A lot of people are gonna love to have her on the team because she can knock back CT, which CT is like your turn order. Think about ATB from Final Fantasy VII, and you can just keep knocking the raid bosses turns back, so you can get those chains on and do a lot of damage, burst it down, and have a lot of fun in those raids. We'll do a whole video on that, but that's a whole other aspect of this event that hasn't come out. So it's a lot to go over. I hope I did a good job with it, and I hope you guys are having fun with the game so far. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any more questions or you need help with anything. I've been answering comments the best I can. Subscribe for future content here on YouTube. Follow me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ClaicYuzolt, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.